Today we are going to be going over how to handle a sales call. Now, I understand for some of you it's nerve-wracking. You get on right before the call and you probably have to go to the bathroom 1,000 times, maybe start stuttering, maybe pace around the room sweating, and you think it's the end of the world, but it's not. The reason you feel that way is one, you don't have enough experience. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So once you go through and you actually know what you're doing, which we're going to cover on today's training, is you're going to walk away from this video knowing what to do. The rest of it's literally you just doing it over and over again. And as you do that, that anxiety, that uncertainty that you feel is going to just fade away. Now, am I saying it's going to completely disappear? No. If you go a couple months without doing a sales call and then you randomly jump back on, you'll probably feel a little nervous, but then after you get over 1, 2, 3 calls, you're not going to be as rusty and the nerves are just going to fade. So when it comes to getting into the sales call, here's the first lesson that I want you to really understand, and that is skip the small talk. You overthink too much, and you also have to realize that these people are busy. Just like you're busy, they are busy. They don't know who you are in most cases. If you follow the money bag method, yes, you've built up some rapport, but outside of that, they don't know who you are. So don't sit there and be like, yeah, man, oh, wow, you live in Texas. Awesome. How's the weather there? Yeah? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, actually, I live in Paraguay. Right now, it's hot. Just a couple days ago, it was cold, but, for the most part, the weather's really good. Yeah. So who cares? So stop trying to just break the ice with all the small talk. So what I want you to do is just get straight to the point. So whenever somebody gets on the phone with you, instead of you asking 1,000 different questions and trying to just break the ice, what I want you to do is ask them some kind of question to get the ball rolling. So one thing I used to do, now I've got people that handle this for me, so I don't have to do the calls, but back whenever I was doing it, is I would say, let's just give this guy, his name is Zach. I would be like, hey Zach, thanks for taking the time to get on this call with me today. I understand you're busy, I'm just the same. Just out of interest, what was the big thing that made you be interested in getting on today's call? And the reason I would ask that is I'm validating that I know they're busy. I'm busy too. I'm not asking and beating around the bush, just going all around with all the small talk. I'm just from the get-go, because they're probably a little on edge as well, but from the get-go, just boom, jumping right into it. And then from there, they're going to tell me, oh, Dylan, the thing that really stood out to me was whenever you reached out to me on Twitter, whenever you reached out to me on LinkedIn, whenever you reached out to me on Instagram, it was some of the key things you're saying as far as that I'm missing on my email list, and then you showed me some of the proof of what you've done for other people, and I was like, hey, I may as well just get on the call and hear this guy out. And then I'd be like, yeah, I usually get that, blah, 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 and then I would take it to another question. And the key thing that you're trying to do whenever you're on one of these calls is and this is going to help a lot of you that get nervous, you are not trying to just talk. That is something I did in the beginning, and it was a mistake, because if you just talk, one, you're probably going to make yourself look bad. Two, you're not actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. And what is the purpose of getting on a sales call? The purpose of getting onto a sales call is understanding their problem and if you are qualified to help them, and if they're qualified for your service. So if you're sitting there just talking, you're not actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be asking them questions and seeing if they're even a good fit for your service, or if you're a good fit for them. And a good mind frame for all of you to really understand is that you are offering a service. You, if you've done the right qualifying, meaning you've looked for people that could actually use your service, well, you should understand that you're out here actually helping them. Whether let's say you're a graphic designer, you are going to make them graphics. It's going to help them reach more people. So you're writing emails. You are writing emails that are going to help them make more money. So it's your duty to help them. However, you also have to understand is since you have a service, you're not out here just trying to work with anybody, whoever will pay me. No, You don't want to work with people that aren't a good fit. You know, you have that gut feeling where you're like, oh, yeah, I don't know if this guy's a good fit. Don't take his money. And people respect that if you're like, yeah, listen, Zach, I mean, you seem like a great guy. However, I just don't think you're at the right place with your business for my service. However, if you ever get to XYZ point, feel free to reach back out to me and so we could make happen. If you know anybody right now that's doing X, Y, and Z, if you refer them to me, we could figure something out that will make it worth your while. Boom. That's it. So you have to be asking them questions. Stop thinking about the perfect script and start thinking about what type of questions can I ask them to, one, see if they're a good fit for my service, but two, to see how I can best help them. So as an example, since I'm an email copywriter, I ask them questions around the products that they have, how they currently do their marketing. I ask them questions such as how many people are on their email list. Do they already have it like various tags set up? Do they have different email sequences? I ask all these types of questions to see if they even have enough email subscribers for me to be able to help them make more money with. I try to understand as far as like, okay, do they already have any sequences in place? Different things like that, because from there I can craft my offer to them. Now, am I saying that I get on the call and I have no idea what I'm going to be offering them? No, of course I've got an offer. But what you're doing as you're weaving through this phone call, asking them different questions, figuring out if you have something that will actually benefit them and if they're even a good fit for your service, is you, and this is going to take a lot of experience. I'm not expecting you to watch this video and immediately understand what I'm saying, but to be able to think on your feet. So if they have a certain problem and they keep leaning into, let's say, coming up with ideas to write emails about, what I would do is, yeah, I'm obviously, as an email copywriter, I'm going to be taking content they're already putting out, turning them into emails. I'm going to be doing all these different things. But if their main issue is coming up with ideas to write emails about, that's what I'm going to really lean into. So imagine you just stubbed your toe or you just cut your leg and somebody just pressed on it harder. And you're, like that. And then as soon as somebody takes the relief off, now you relieved their pain. That is what you're doing. So once you ask them these questions and you identify what their pains are, it's your job to keep asking questions around that and really just dig your finger into there and into that pain. And then at the end, you relieve that pain by offering them your service. So if he brought up the issue, the pain that he is having trouble, like all the different things he's doing, he's having trouble coming up with content to turn into emails. Like, oh yeah, man, that's no problem. That's one of the key like fundamentals of the service I'm offering you, and I obviously am already offering other clients of mine, is you don't have to do any extra work. Like you're already putting out all these tweets, or if they're on Instagram, you're already putting out all these Instagram posts, or if they're on YouTube, I would say, well, you're already putting out all these YouTube videos, and the process that I follow is I'm basically just going to turn your content into email. So you've already done the work for me. I'm just here to help synthesize it and turn that into an email for you, blah, 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 blah. And I would just keep thinking on my feet. So that's something you need to do, is think on your feet. Now, the second issue that a lot of you kept talking about was, and this really built upon the small talk aspect, is get to the point. Don't just sit there. Like, you're not trying to sit there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Some of my best calls have been conducted within a 5 to 10 minute time frame. So that's another thing that makes a lot of you get nervous, is you think you have to know all these different things to talk about for the next 20, 30 minutes, an hour. And honestly, if you're on the call that long, you're probably doing something wrong. You should only be on a call with an actual client for around that long, of course. Like if you're breaking down a strategy or something like that. But all in all, you need to get to the point. So don't just go off on tangents. Like, as an example, let's say they ask you a question and you're already asking the question and you're leading them to that next question. You're figuring out all these different things on how you can help them. And then they ask this random off the wall question. And then, the emails I'm writing, I'm going to write 3 emails a week. And I'm also going to set up your email sequence. And then I'm going to do this. And here's my process. And I'm going to do this. Stop doing that. So be very intentional with everything that you're doing. And if they do ask you a question, you can answer it, but don't go off for the next 5 minutes answering it. So they can say, Yeah, Dylan, that actually makes a lot of sense. So you said that you're going to turn my content into like emails. I mean, like, what's the process? To which I would very quickly say, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent with them. I'm not going to go, oh, okay, so I'm going to watch your YouTube video, and then I'm going to turn that into various emails, and then I'm going to turn the subject lines, blah blah blah. I'm not going to go do that. I would say, yeah, Zach. So basically, what I'm going to do, just pretty simply, is I'm going to watch all of your YouTube videos. I'm going to read your tweets and really just understand your voice and the mission that you have, because I already really like the mission you have. So I'm just going to harness that voice and I'm going to turn it into emails. But as I was saying, and then I would ask the next question, is this making sense? Awesome. And outside of that, as long as you stick to these fundamentals, you are going to keep crushing it with your sales calls. And understand, this is something you have to do time and time again. You're not just going to start tomorrow and all of a sudden be amazing. Like, that happens to literally nobody. Maybe if you're already naturally good at it, but even then, you've had some kind of experience 9 times out of 10. So if you find yourself getting nervous, understand, you will get better. All you have to do is stick to these fundamentals, and everything else is going to take care of itself. Just like the first time you rode a bike, probably wasn't easy in the beginning. You probably overthought it. You probably thought it was hard. And then you did it. Now, like, you do it without even having to think about it. You just hop on a bike and start pedaling, and boom, you get to the destination. It's the exact same thing with closing over the phone. But if you have any other questions, let me know, or let my Princess Colson know, and I will turn it into a video for you guys. Talk to you soon. What's going on, Dylan Madden here. So in this module, I'm going to be sharing with you just a few little tools that you can use to make your job as a freelancer much easier. When it comes to, let's say that a lot of your content or a lot of the service you offer requires you to write, I want you to use Grammarly. It is 100% free. They do have a membership, but I've been using it for years and never had to pay a dime. So use Grammarly. Why do you want to use Grammarly? You want to use it because I don't have the best grammar. Like, even some of my emails I type out don't have the best grammar. Maybe you're supposed to use that's instead of something else. Maybe you're supposed to use a comma here, which you didn't. And of course, you can go through and you can edit it yourself and take an extra 5 minutes to go through your emails. With the amount of emails that I'm putting out, I don't want to put like 5 or 10 minutes per email getting the grammar perfectly crafted, getting the sales page perfectly crafted. I don't want to do that. So I simply copy and paste into Grammarly, and it shows every single typo that I have. However, I will say there are certain situations where the change that it wants to make isn't really, it kind of breaks the flow of what you're trying to use, because with copy, you want to be speaking like it's like a conversation with the person. You don't have to be perfectly scripted, but there are just certain common sense things that oh yeah, I should have put a comma there. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I used the same word twice. And you want to fix that. So use Grammarly. The second thing that I want you to start using is Google Docs. Google Docs is like a life changer. You can make presentations, you can make spreadsheets, it's essentially like, what is it called? I can't even think of Microsoft Word. It's essentially that as well, all in one thing. And even better, you can organize each client into different folders. So you can have a folder for X client, another folder for this client, and then within that folder, you can break it into the various different projects that you're helping them with. So if you go to one of my clients, if I were to open up a file right now, you would see the emails that I have for content, you would see the sales emails, you'd see the tweets that as I said in the last module, that I create for my client as well. And then you'd also see pictures that I've organized and templates that I've organized, all within that particular folder. That's just going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. So you're not having to go around like a mad scientist trying to just, email, that's a waste of time, bro. So what I want you to start doing is 1, use Grammarly, and 2, start using Google Docs and organize your client into that folder. So literally have a folder on your client. You can throw your archetype in there. You can throw all that stuff inside of that folder, and it's going to make your job a lot easier. So start using that, and if I think of anything else that you could particularly use, I'll let you know. Another thing, and this I'll go into more detail in the next module, but I want you to start using WeTransfer. I use WeTransfer whenever I'm sending big files of any sort. There's sometimes, like, I've got a member on my staff that does video edits, and
to be able to send that and maintain that same quality, I found that sending it via email and all that it just takes away the quality. So you could use Telegram, but that takes ages to download. If you've used Telegram like ever sending a video, it takes ages. Like I've sat there to send like a 2-minute video, it took like 10 minutes. That's a waste of time. So what I want you to start using is WeTransfer. You can upload pictures, you can upload videos to this thing for free within reason. There is a membership as well, but again, I've never paid a single dime for the service that they provide. And I can send videos, I can send anything it is that file-wise that I need to send to a client. And the good thing about it is you can either send it as email, or what I use is I just copy the link, I send it to the client, he clicks that link, and he can download everything right there. So start using Grammarly, start using Google Docs much more than you already do, and then also use WeTransfer. Talk to you soon.
What if you don't have a bank account? Well, number one, if let's say you're under 18, and I want to say the age is around 16 in the US, well, you can have your parents sign a piece of paper at your local bank, and boom, now you have a bank account. There are so many bank accounts out there for people that are in the teens. So if you don't have a bank account, just tell your parents you want a bank account, get their permission, and boom, now you have a bank account that you can buy things online with, so you'll have your own debit card, and you can get money deposited. But the good thing about flipping is most of it is 100% cash, meaning, well, you don't need a bank account. So you don't need to even worry about that either. See, here's another problem that you face, and you think it's game over. You're like, oh my God, I don't have a car. I told you a solution. Oh my God, I don't have a bank account. I just told you a solution. So you're going to be getting paid in cash 99% of the time, but for that 1% of the time, if you do need a bank account, just ask your parents to go out there, get their permission, they'll open up a bank account for you. Or if you're over that age, well, just go to the bank and open up an account for yourself. Off the dome, I'm going to show you exactly how to create an ad for your offerings on Craigslist. And obviously, as you could probably already tell, by putting your ad on Craigslist, I'm not talking about having to go through a complicated Facebook ad and all the other BS that goes into setting one of those up. This is literally like you're making a Facebook post, essentially. But of course, with this, instead of just posting for likes, you're going to be posting for profit. So once you have your Craigslist account, obviously, as you can tell, I've got mine up here, you're going to go to create an ad. And then once you're going to create the ad, you're going to see this screen, and obviously on the mobile, on your phone, which is ideally where you're going to be doing all of your businesses on your phone. That way you can make hundreds of dollars, literally, all from your cell phone. What you're going to want to find is this. And obviously, there are tons of different areas. Since my city is in Charleston, South Carolina, that's where whenever I sell items on Craigslist, obviously that's my market. Charleston is my market. So we're going to click go. And then once we're here, we're going to come through all these options. This obviously isn't a job. It's not a gig. It's not a resume, blah, 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 blah. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down to for sale by owner. And then from here, obviously, depending on whatever your item is, you're going to select from here. But let's just go with antiques. Obviously, more than likely, you're not going to sell an antique. Hopefully, you won't. But let's just say that I'm selling a brown leather couch. A lot of people go brown couch, good condition, and that's pretty much it. What you're going to do is you're going to say, let's say it's a brown leather couch. At the end of the day, that's not that exciting, but you've got to be simple, you've got to be practical, and you've got to be eye-catching, because there are literally dozens and dozens of new posts every single day in your area, so you've got to break through the noise. And let's see, also, whenever you're posting this ad, you're going to publish this ad, you're going to wait several days, and then you're going to publish another ad, the same ad, and you're just going to keep doing that until your product is sold. A lot of people, and I did this whenever I first started, I would post an ad. Oh, to be honest, I was pretty successful from the get-go just because I had to make money, and I also had some basic like copywriting skills at that time. But any product that doesn't sell don't just get all depressed and all that. And be, oh, I'm never going to sell this couch or whatever it is. Instead, realize that, let me just post another ad. Look at these things right here as your ad. The only way that you're going to be able to sell your products is by putting this ad in front of your people until you sell your product. So your product right now is a beautiful leather couch. So what are we going to say? We're going to say brown leather couch, great condition. I mean, that would pretty much be it right there. You could say brown leather couch, great condition, and you could spice it up a little bit more. And let's say you're selling this couch for $100, which is very, very realistic. And you can put your postal code in, whatever that is. And I literally hardly ever do specific location, but if you are limited to as far as like transportation and all that, obviously you can just say your specific area. So you could just be like, my area, I could just say West Ashley. That's a county here in Charleston. So you just say West Ashley, have your postal code, price, brown leather couch, great condition. And back whenever I was selling on Craigslist, as like I had to make money from Craigslist, I was against all caps titles, but fast forward to now, just based off some feedback that I've received from some of the people that are on the newsletter, they've actually seen success doing that, so I have changed my stance on that. So you could also just be like, all caps, brown leather couch, great condition. And also, this is something I want to say. If it's not in great condition, don't say great condition. You can say minor wear and tear or something like that. But the whole concept behind whenever you're buying this, and I'm actually going to take a note right now so I can go back and edit the book that you read, you need to look for things that are in good condition. To me, that's just common sense, but to some people, like I had one reader that, well, actually it was a viewer on the YouTube video that I did. He sent me an email and he was like, none of my stuff is selling. And he sent me some pictures. And I was like, dude, the couch has holes in it. Who would buy that? And yeah, you can have some cat scratches here and there. Doesn't really matter. But if you've got a hole in your couch, who's going to pay $100 for that? I know I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. So let me take a note real quick. That way I can add this to the book for you, which obviously by the time you're seeing this, it'll be good. So you've got your title, you got your price, you've got all this. And then from here, you're just going to say, and once again, I'm coming off the dome, so bear with me while I'm typing this up. It's probably been 8 months since I've had to sell on Craigslist to make money. So you can just say, leather couch for sale in the Charleston area, minor wear and tear, cash and debit card accepted. Contact me for more info. Literally can be something simple like that. Doesn't have to be anything ridiculous. If I decide that there should be any more info in here, obviously I'll make another part to this video. That way you can go through there. So I know whenever I was making my ads, they would usually be a little bit longer than this, but you've got to remember, your ideal customer is like already coming and looking for a couch. So they see your couch, they come, click your ad. They're not trying to read 20 freaking paragraphs about your couch. They want to see leather couch for sale in whatever your area is. So let's just say in your market. So insert whatever your city is. So for me, it's Charleston. So I said leather couch for sale in the Charleston area, minor wear and tear, cash and debit card accepted. And you can put in any other little information that you feel would like be of use to them. And let's see, leather couch. So after you got your pictures and you've done some minor touching up, you're going to upload 3 pictures. You're going to upload 1 picture. These are obviously some great pictures. This one looks more realistic. You would download this image. And let's finish this ad first. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You can say by phone, by text, enter your number, 843-999, blah, 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 blah. And you can put your contact name, Dylan.
And I would also unselect this. You don't want people reaching out to you. You're reaching out to them to get their money. Phone number is not valid in the country you're posting to. Disclaimer, I have no idea whose number this is. So let's see if this is a real number. Okay, so you've pretty much created your ad. There's this area. Don't worry about this. Obviously, this is nowhere near where I am, but just click continue. And then from here, you're going to click add images, and obviously you're going to upload a picture that looks similar to this, because remember, you want your customer to see like what this would look like in their house. So have a picture that's like in your house or in wherever you're storing its house, and obviously if you've got a storage facility, you can't do that, but just have a picture like this, and then preferably have another picture of you and a few of your friends having a good time, sitting down on the couch. And that's 2 pictures right there. So 2 to 3 pictures. That's all you need. You don't need anything crazy. And literally from there, you publish your ad and you sit and wait. And from there, what people are going to do is they're going to reach out to you probably via email. Most of my people would just literally straight up call me or text me. And if you're somebody that's not crazy about talking over the phone, that's okay. Of course, at some point, you're going to want to get over that. In the beginning, I didn't like talking over the phone, so I would just say text only. So make sure that you don't select the call, just select the text and say text only. And from there, literally, that's all you've got to do. Like, that's what I want you to understand about this Craigslist business. It's not complicated. You don't have to test 10 different Facebook ads. You don't have to test 40 different website or Shopify niches. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You literally go to these stores, you buy some products for the low and you sell it for the high, all from your cell phone, and then you upload it to Craigslist, and people come to your house or come to your storage unit or wherever you want to meet them and buy your stuff. That's all you've got to do. So I want you to understand how simple this business is. So if you've got a job, you're going to be able to make money doing this. Just go out on the weekends, and then whenever you meet people in the evening after you get off your job. It's really that simple. Or if you're like me, whenever I was doing Craigslist, I literally would have hundreds of dollars worth of bills due. I didn't have a job, so I had to make stuff happen with this. So that's what I want you to understand about this whole Craigslist business thing. You can not only make a nice little extra income, but you can also pay your bills with this. So think bigger. Just start as soon as possible, literally right now, as soon as you're done watching this video. If you've already read the How to Make Money on Craigslist book, I want you to either go to a Habitat for Humanity, go to Goodwill, or freaking find an item in your room that you can sell that you don't use, and just play around with it. Take some pictures, create your ad, publish it, make you some money, and then from there, just like I said in the book, you're going to develop an eye for what's going to sell. Like right now, if you and I went into Goodwill right now, you could bring up items to me and I could be like, nope, it's not going to sell. Nope, it's not going to sell. Yeah, that's going to sell. That's going to sell. That's not going to sell. That's going to sell. And then you would upload it, and every item that I said was going to sell is going to sell. And I'm going to make another video on some market research and stuff. It's a pretty helpful thing. But this, as far as like, you literally could read the book and finish watching this video and start making money. But I'm probably going to release some extra stuff, some more videos or something like this that's going to go into more details. But please believe in yourself. Please take action on this. And I can guarantee you that you're going to start making money from this. So let me know on Twitter or on email, whatever, if you have any other questions. But just take action on this and you will begin making money.
Okay, so the next phase of email marketing that you really need to understand is nurture emails and harvest emails. One of the number one things that you can mess up is if you just sell in every single email, because at some point, one, they're going to get used to seeing the same product and the same service being promoted to them, but also if you're not focused on adding value and you're just straight up for selling in every single email, your sales are just going to go down. People are going to stop opening your emails. Now, yes, of course, I know some of you are probably watching this. Well, I still have every email and it doesn't really affect anything. That's because you're focused on value. So yes, you can sell in every single email if you want, as long as you have a soft sell and you're focused on providing tangible, actual value on a day-to-day basis in your emails. So whether you're emailing your list daily or you're emailing 2 to 3 times a week, which is the number I recommend for a lot of you, is 3 emails a week is a good baseline email amount to offer to your clients. If you're doing this for your own email list, feel free to email every single day if that's what you want to do. That's completely up to you. So if you are going to be selling in every email, you can get away with a soft sell. So let me give you an example. Let's go back to this email that we wrote together. Let's see. So I would take this. Let's see. Okay, so I would take this right here. Cool. This is the beginning of real self-care. As you begin building your own skill set and creating your own success, you will fully understand. Quit that. You'll fully understand what I am talking about. Go ahead and adopt this living on private mentality. Now, you could even argue that this is a soft sell. And whenever I say a soft sell, it's something that it's not a blatant, it's like, you've got to buy this, we're running out. It's not a hard sell. So a soft sell could even be something like this. So as you get building your own skill set, creating your own success, you will fully understand what I'm talking about. Go ahead and adopt this living with private mentality. Always the best, Dylan Madden, PS. Or you could even do O, and by the way, you can do BTW, you can write out by the way, come up with your own wording and all of that. That way you have your own voice. You're not just copying what everybody else is saying. So always the best, Dylan Madden. Oh, and by the way, if you have zero idea of what skill you want to pick and how to find high paying clients, ? Click the link down below and I will show you exactly what to do, period. And then you can do that. Remember, you can do this with enroll, and you can do that, or you can do a straight up button, whatever it is you want to do. So my tangent, the point that I'm getting to is this is a soft sell email. So you're focused on some kind of value, whether it's telling a story, whether it's telling a story with a lesson, whether it's really just focusing on like a personal development style email, whether if you're in the crypto space, because I've got a client that's in the crypto space, you're talking about changes that are happening within crypto. Maybe it's something that's going on with Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of the shit coins. You can make an email about that, and then you can do the, oh, by the way, or if you're interested in this, check this out. You can even do how the call to action was before all this. And that is still a harvest email. Now, when it comes to a nurture email, because at the end of the day, what you are doing as an email marketer is you are building a bridge between you and the reader. You're providing value. Maybe you're a bigger brother to them. Maybe you're a mentor to them, whatever it is, you're providing some kind of value through the emails, either that you're writing or your clients, you're writing for your clients. You're providing value. You're building a relationship. You're opening and building communication and trust between you and the reader. That is really all you were doing with emails. So I really recommend that you focus on nurturing emails, especially in the beginning, until they've gotten used to the brand, they understand the brand, whether you do this in the welcome sequence or if you're somebody that emails on a day-to-day basis, you don't really need a welcome sequence. So let's say you're focusing on providing just some kind of value in your day-to-day emails, you're fine. So think of nurturing emails as the following. One, you're building a relationship or you're providing value to your reader and you're not trying to pitch them anything. Now, the caveat is a soft sell email can still technically be a nurturing email because you're focusing on the value first. So you're building that trust, you're building that authority, you're building that relationship between you and the reader. And you're saying, oh, and by the way, you check this out. You could also do something along the lines of just hyperlinking this. You could hyperlink this to the course or the service that you're promoting. So it's not a blatant promo. You can do little things like that whenever you're nurturing the relationship between you and the reader. Now, what is a harvest email? This style email would not necessarily be the best example of a nurture email. So let's just push this all the way down there to where you can't even see it. So let's say that you just launched a course. Let's put an email together for the course that I'm recording for you right now. Want to earn 100K plus per year from typing, oh yeah, per year typing words on a screen, question mark, something like that. That's a pretty good subject line. I've spent the last 3 years building a sustainable income that has allowed me to retire my mom, tell my girl, or no, say put my girl on salary and live the lifestyle that I wanted, period. Which is why today, I'm excited to tell you about, I haven't even thought about a name for the course yet. Let's just call it Email Mastery. Email Mastery. Which is why today I'm excited to tell you about Email Mastery. Bullet point, or you could do, or dot, 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 or you could do this. I'm just going to go with this for now. Remember, guys, because I want you to understand the thought process. Don't follow step by step every single thing I'm doing with the email. You need to understand why I'm doing it, the thought process behind it. You don't need to do the same thing over and over again. You can do this, you can do this, you could do that. It is completely up to you. Figure out what works best for you. So, which is why today I'm excited to tell you about Email Mastery. Come down here. Let's go to numbers list. So I'm excited to tell you about Email Mastery. Use my template to write profitable emails in less than 10 minutes. Never run out of things to say, or never run out of things to write about. Never run out of things to write about. Know what words to avoid. Hit the primary inbox 99% of the time. Turn this into a 6-figure income, much more. For the next 7 days, you can get Email Mastery for, say, $35. Then come down here, and what are you going to do? You're going to put a button. So let's put I'm just going out of this button right here. Remember, always align it to the left. Obviously, I don't have a link for this course yet. I'm literally recording it for you. So a link, and then you're going to put red or whatever color you want to do. I found green. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, this type of green is kind of like the brightest green. So yeah, that, and then red, both seem to work the best. Grab it here. Boom. And then have your sign out. Always the best, Dylan Madden. That is an example of a harvest email. So the harvest email, it is straight up, you are out there making sales, you're making offers. So you're pitching your service, you're pitching your product. And we can also get into at a later time, there's nurture campaigns, there's harvest campaigns. So obviously a harvest campaign is a straight up sales campaign, which is something I'm going to be running for this course to my email list, which I've got 3 email lists I'm going to be running this to. And essentially, every single email is focused on getting as many people to click that button and get inside the program or the service that you are offering. That's really all a harvest email is. Now, with a nurture email, the flip side of that would be if I was trying to nurture between me and my readers, aka you, that is watching this, I would spend that week, that whatever the course of the campaign is, whether it's a week campaign, a month campaign, I would spend that time just telling you about email copywriting, giving you tips and tricks that I've learned, taking pieces of this course and expanding on it within an email, showing you how it's helped me, sharing with you social proof of sales that I've generated for clients, sales that I've generated for myself. And then I would switch to the harvest campaign, and then I would start pitching the course, the coaching, the service, whatever it is. If this makes sense, just let me know, because this is very profitable for you as far as being an email marketer. You need to understand that you can't just sell all the time and expect sales to continue coming in. Yes, you can sell, hard sell every single email, but you're also going to have to constantly be cleaning your list, meaning kicking people out because they're going to stop opening, and constantly filling your email list with new people. So for me, especially if you're working within the personal brand niche, and really just any niche, I focus more so on the actual relationship. So you're going to be nurturing that relationship through providing actionable content, providing stories, providing lessons, providing different things that actually are valuable to your reader. And you could still soft sell in every email if you want, or you can just focus on providing that value, building that relationship, showing your authority, and then you can switch to the harvest, which goes into actually making you money. So apply that. That is what you need to do. That is the yin and the yang of harvest and nurturing emails. When it comes to writing a profitable email, profitable meaning it actually makes money, it gets clicks, it gets engagement, you need to start with the subject line. We talked about this earlier in the course. However, I just want to make a specific module for how to write a good subject line. So it's one of those things that you're going to have to test for yourself, because obviously the brand itself is what's going to really sell opening that email. However, there are different little hacks and everything, even though I hate that word. There are little hacks that you can do to increase the probability that they're going to open up your email. So first off, I recommend that you go to swipefile.com, because with this website, you're really going to be able to learn and see with your own 2 eyes good subject lines, how to write good copy. I also recommend that you get on other people's email lists. Obviously, get on mine, get on my email list, one of the best. On a serious note, though, get on my email list, get on a couple other people's email lists, especially in the niche that you're planning on working within. That way you start knowing what type of subject lines they use, why they use them, what types of emails they send their list, and then you can start piecing together using everything you're learning within this course to really come in and take over the copywriting game. So you can come to this website and literally look at all this stuff. It's copywriting, direct mail, SaaS pages, formulas, pricing, blah, 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 blah. And you can come over and see what good copy looks like. So that's one way you can do it. The other way is, like I said, joining email lists within the niche or niches, because you don't have to get with just one niche. You can be in 3, 4, 5, 6 different niches, as long as you actually know what you're doing and you can save your clients time and make them money. As I've spoken about a million times, join other email lists and start seeing the types of subject lines they use. So just to give you a couple examples, one that I really enjoy doing would be, thinking on the spot, what would be great things take time, ... This is a similar example to one of the ones I gave you earlier. But the reason you put ... it leaves them hanging. Like, okay, what's next? And then from there, you could put together the preview text, which is the second most important thing. So you have the subject line, and secondly, you have the preview text. Great things take time. Every day you think you're moving slowly, period. However, comma, I have something that blow your mind, dot, dot, dot. That way they see that, dot, 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 they have to continue reading. So this subject line works very well in my experience. You can also say, are you there? Question mark. So question style subject lines work well. Do not overuse them. And that's something I want to expand on a little bit is don't take any of the subject lines that I'm using and showing you and just keep using the same one over and over and over and over because people are going to get used to seeing that. You need to spice it up a little bit, just like in a relationship. You wouldn't keep doing the same thing over and over. You need to spice it up. You need to add some mystery, some excitement. Let's shorten that comma. Working 10 hours a week, comma, from your laptop, question mark. You could do that. You could do dot, dot, dot. You could experiment with the long subject lines. You could also say, want to replace your 9 to 5, question mark. So a shorter type of email or subject line, dot, dot, dot. You could straight up just go, the best way to close a client within 30 days. Boom. 3 ideas to guarantee your first client. Dot, dot, dot. Question mark. Leave it like that. You could also add in emojis. The alarm emoji is something that I use sparingly because if you keep using it over and over and over again, they're going to get used to it. But I use alarm emojis for sales. So direct harvest emails, like you've already learned about. Harvest emails, it's straight up just a sales email. It's very obvious what you're doing versus the nurturing emails, nurturing that relationship. You can still do the soft sell, but it's not obviously a sales email. So something, just to give an example, next 24 hours only, alarm. Boom. Or you could do the scared face. Let's see, happy. Boom. And just add in the emojis. You could also put emojis at the beginning. Don't feel like, oh, this isn't going to work. Yeah, you can do emojis in the beginning, just like that, which is something I do quite often whenever I'm doing an actual harvest email. So that's the overall context of writing a good subject line. Now, a lot of it's going to come down to figuring out your style specifically for your client. It's also going to come down to you testing things. So what do I mean when I say testing things? I mean, you send out a certain type of subject line over the course of a couple of days, and you see and compare the open rates versus the others. If you're usually getting around 61%, and then this email, for the past 2 to 3 times you've used this, it drops down to 25%, well, you probably don't want to use that subject line. You want to use whatever is getting that 61%, and then find other ways you could tweak it, and then continue testing. So another thing I want to impart to you is there's no one size fits all. That is something that a lot of people mess up on within copywriting in general. They think there's just one specific thing, some magic pill that's going to work for everything. And that's just not the case. A huge part of my success, while I've been able to generate millions of dollars for my clients through email marketing, the reason I've been able to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for myself is because I test things. I never think that I'm a master of all of this and I can just keep doing the same thing over and over. I stay a student of the game. I'm constantly testing new things. I'm constantly finding new styles, new rhythms. And that's what I want you to do as well, because at the end of the day, that is what you need to do to stay on top. You need to constantly be trying new things, constantly finding better ways to create results for your clients, aka generating sales, generating views for videos, etc. And the only way you're going to do that is by testing different subject lines, testing different emails, and all that type of